This is David. I'm going to be making a remonstrance in front of the Gillespie County Courthouse. But I need my keys. I need my keys so I won't lock myself out of the car. So anyway, and I'm open carrying. Mostly just because I was open carrying anyway. So, here we go. I'm behind the library. I'm gonna march around the courthouse once, and then I'm gonna go on the steps of the courthouse, and let's see. There's my piece. Then I'm going to give my remonstrance, which is basically gonna be Tom Glass's article. And just read that. And that will be my remonstrance, which is specifically covered under the Texas Bill of Rights. And then I'll go and have some barbecue at my mom's place. But for now, making a trip around the courthouse. This is the back. I'm flying a Gadsden flag. I was trying to decide which flag I should fly. Maybe the Betsy Ross or Texas flag. But I think the Betsy Ross is a little bit more of a national thing, and although this certainly is a national issue, it's just as much a Texas issue. So I figured, well, let's make it kind of Texas, and maybe a little bit of defiance in the flag, you know, with the "don't tread on me" type of thing. Here's the east side of the courthouse. So this might be a little unusual for Fredericksburg. I don't think there are too many demonstrations around here. And the streets are empty, of course, for the most part. That was my mom. She just called. So I have to wait. Sorry. But anyway, there aren't too many people out. A few people exercising. Here we are coming in front. No flag. I have my flag. Waving at people, driving. Pretty flowers. I don't know if you can see them. There's the Vereinsskirche. See if I can show you. It's kind of hard to see with this glare. I think that's it right there. Fredericksburg, Texas. Here I am walking all by myself. I don't think this is technically an assembly, because an assembly, I think it's more than one person. Well, there's the flag. It's the Texas flag. And that's in front of the courthouse. I guess they didn't put up the U.S. flag. Here's the west side of the courthouse. Here's the library. Spent plenty of time in the library when I was younger. So anyway, I guess I don't want to make 1.5 laps, so I'll come here to the sidewalk so I can say I made one full lap around the courthouse. And then I'll go back to the front, see if I can read my remonstrance. Okay, one full lap, just did it. Now we're going back to the front of the courthouse. And I did this mostly because I read these different flyers. People would say, you know, shaking the fist, no more lockdowns, or resist the lockdowns, or whatever, something like that. And I thought, well, probably not too many people in Fredericksburg are going to do that, but I'll do it. So maybe somebody else can kind of pick up the baton and do the same thing. And if more people do it, I don't know, at least let them know we're not happy with what's going on. Have a real nice breeze. Here I am, dedicated to all the Gillespie County citizens who gave their lives in the armed services, protecting freedom. Yeah, well, time for us who are not in the armed services, as well as those who are too, to protect freedom, because we're losing it. So you hear a little bit of traffic going by. All right, here I am. Always stop and smell the roses. It's a pretty flower. It smells wonderful. Okay. Here we are, going up the steps. See the step? There's my gun and the steps. Here we are. All right, on the steps of the Gillespie County Courthouse. I'm going to straighten out the flag here. All right. Now, turn on this other phone. It has my remonstrance on it. I think that's the right word. Remonstration. I don't know. I didn't look up the word. All right, let's see. Here is my official remonstrance on the behalf of those who are unhappy with all this lockdown nonsense. And this is written by Tom Glass from the web somewhere. He starts out. In the Texas Bill of Rights, we have been told repeatedly here in Texas over the past month that a statute in the Texas Government Code, Chapter 418, entitled Emergency Management, authorizes powers to shut down businesses, prohibit assembly, and order people to stay at home. I'm not at home. Except for defined purposes to the governor, county judges, and commissioners' courts, and mayors and city councils. We are told this is okay because the legislature delegated such powers to violate fundamental natural rights specifically identified for protection in the Texas Bill of Rights. Let's see. See? Gillespie County Courthouse. I don't know if you can read that. For those who value liberty, there are several questions. Does the Texas Constitution authorize the legislature to delegate such powers to the governor and subdivisions of the state? Which was our framework of government designed to protect more, liberty or safety? Are we supposed to have citizen-directed government or government-directed citizens? Big truck going by. Looks like coolers. Let's start with this provision in the Texas Bill of Rights. Section 29, Bill of Rights accepted from powers of government and inviolate. That's the title. To guard against transgressions of the high powers herein delegated, we declare that everything in this Bill of Rights is accepted out of the general powers of government and shall forever remain inviolate, and all laws contrary thereto, or to the following provisions shall be void. V-O-I-D means it has. Do these words sound very like there is any wiggle room? Do they allow... See, my flag is flapping in the breeze very nicely. Where was I? Do these words sound like there's any wiggle room? Question mark. Do they allow any branch or level of state government to say that an emergency justifies violating the fundamental natural rights listed in the Texas Bill of Rights? I don't think so. Neither do I. In his executive order, EO-GA-14, issued on March 31st, 2020, Governor Abbott said the following, quote, whereas under Section 418.012, the governor may issue executive orders having the force and effect of law, end of quote, and, begin to quote, whereas under Section 418.173, failure to comply with any executive order issued during the COVID-19/Wuhan virus disaster is an offense punishable by a fine not to exceed $1,000, confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 180 days, or both fine and confinement. See, my flag doesn't agree with that. If these orders violate a provision of the Texas Bill of Rights to protect your natural right to earn a living, assemble, or worship, can the Texas legislature delegate the power to violate such to the governor or to counties or cities? I don't think so, and neither do I. Here are just a few provisions of the Texas Bill of Rights to ponder. Section 27, right of assembly, petition for redress of grievances. Well, I guess technically I'm not assembling because there's just one of me. But I am certainly redressing grievances. And I am remonstrating. But that's later. The citizens shall have a right in a peaceable manner, and I'm quite peaceable, to assemble together for their common good. But again, it's just me. So, Section 16, bills of attainder ex post facto, or retroactive laws impairing obligation of contracts. No bill of attainder, ex post facto law, retroactive law, or any law impairing the obligation of contracts shall be made. Hey, Governor, you read your own Texas Bill of Rights? Do you think that a prohibition on doing business impairs the obligation of contracts? The Texas Supreme Court has used Section 19 of this Texas Bill of Rights that says that no citizen of this state shall be deprived of life, liberty, property, privileges, or immunities, or in any manner disenfranchised except by the due course of the law of the land, to protect economic liberty and the natural right to earn a living. Our government was created to protect liberty and establish the rule of law, not to protect us from harsh reality and nature. Ordered liberty does require us not to knowingly endanger others, period. If you know that you are contagious with a deadly disease, you are a threat to others, and government has the right to use force of law to isolate you to protect others. It can even quarantine you if you have been exposed to the disease, but you show no symptoms. But the reality of coronavirus is that you might have the disease and be contagious without knowing it. Based on the principle that anyone might be a danger to someone else, but who knows? We all might be a danger. Maybe you murdered someone and put it in the trunk of your car. Who knows? Maybe you should be locked up because you might be a terrorist. Whatever. Okay, let's see, where was I? Kind of lost track. Based on the principle that anyone might be a danger to someone else, all levels of our government have decided that they can restrict everyone's liberty. Bunch of do-gooders. It is Minority Report, pre-crime thinking, and it is fundamentally at odds with our Texas Bill of Rights. And of course, if you own your own life, you get to decide what risk you take with it. Government nannies, hint hint, Governor, cannot rightfully decide whether you should take a risk to earn a living or otherwise enjoy life. Ours is a republic of citizen-directed government, not government-directed citizens. Try to convince the latest judge of that thing. But people are dying, some say. First off, if those people are given the facts of the dangers, those who are most at risk can take aggressive self-isolation measures if they so choose, but don't isolate the rest of us. South Korea gave people information and choice, and lots of testing and voluntary changes in behavior help them weather the storm. Destruction of people's liberty and their livelihoods and fortunes is not required to keep those most at risk safe. Liberty lets each of us assess the facts of reality and set an appropriate course based on our values and circumstances. Command and control destroys lives, prosperity, and liberty. I'm going to skip that paragraph because I don't think it's forceful enough. But we need to prepare for a vigorous debate about the limits of governmental response to emergencies in our constitutional republic. We need to have it straight about which takes second fiddle when liberty and safety are presumed to collide. And we need to have it straight about who runs each Texan's life. Is it government experts, or does each person in Texas own themselves? We need to ask if we are still committed to the second provision of the Texas Bill of Rights, which is Section 2, inherent political power, Republican form of government. All political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit, period. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a Republican form of government. Well, so am I. And this was signed Tom Glass, who lives in Northwest Harris County. And I signed it too. And that is the end of my remonstrance, and now I will march back to my car and go to my mom's for some barbecue. I'm a good Texan. And you can accompany me on my walk back to my car, my triumphant exit from the courthouse, having successfully remonstrated without being tased and thrown to the ground, or handcuffed and thrown to the ground and left bleeding, as the case has been with some of our county residents. And here I go, headed back west. As you can see, the sun is shining in my face, and cars are passing. They're not looking at me. There's some crazy guy walking with a flag and a gun. Whatever. Here we go. Now along the west side, which means technically I'm headed more or less south. And there's the old Texas flag. But the question is, we have the flag. Where is it? There it is. We have the flag. But does what it represents still fly? Does it still stand? I don't know. That's up to you and me and all of us. If we stop this nonsense, then it does. And if we just kind of roll over and whimper, then it's gone. So, it's up to you and everybody else. So let's do something and not take this quietly. Here I am, headed back to my car, and I guess we'll end this broadcast. Thanks for watching. God bless you. And God bless the USA, and God bless Texas. And Where's finished on this thing? I can't see too well.